He pitched, 13 seasons here in Montreal. He's now a VP with the MLB PA. It is none other than a guy who was on the field last year for the first game, Mr. Steve Rogers. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, and it's good to be here.
Now, kind of deja vu, right? Last year's 46,000, same figure for Friday nights. Today it looks like we're going to get over 50 once again. Your thoughts on the turnout?
Well, I think it's an excellent example of the city of Montreal, the province of Quebec, saying basically to the world, look, we love Major League Baseball. Things have changed. They're not 20 years ago. It's new. It's vital, and we want to be looked at if we could put all the pieces together to see if we can't get a major league franchise here.
Why was it important for you to come this weekend?
Well, it's important, one, because I'm actually doing official duties for the Players Association, and so I'm working, and then of course there's always the nostalgia aspect of it for me, and so I put my name in early to be the one to come up here to work.
Olympic Stadium, certainly not the greatest of venues in professional sports in 2015, but what does it feel like when you walk in to the building again?
Well, there's no doubt that there's a familiarity with the structure, but see, I never played in here when it was covered. I never played in here when it was this new configuration, so while it is familiar, it's not the same place that I played in. That being said, I would love to see the yellow seat in the low section where Willie Stargell hit the ball, but the auxiliary scoreboard...
I'll tell you exactly where it is. You know where it is? I saw it. I saw it last year. It's at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in St. Mary's, Ontario. Okay. They have it.
But I know where it was at. It's right there behind, I think, the sixth, in the sixth inning. So, no, it's great to be back. It's a wonderful opportunity to get a chance to visit with old friends and again relive some of the memories.
Steve Rogers joining us here on the Reds vs. Jays pregame show right here on TSN 690. I'm Matthew Ross. Steve, we yesterday Ellis Valentine and Al Oliver were here, and they were signing autographs, and the expected turnout was a smattering of people. They signed for 5 innings yesterday. The lineups were unbelievable, and it was a free signing. It was just anybody who wanted their autograph or a picture taken with them. It just went on and on and on. You're talking about 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, etc. What does it make you feel when you hear something like that?
Well, again, I've talked with a lot of people over the last 2 or 3 years about the resurgence of baseball in Montreal and in Quebec. And I believe that it's easy to explain, but it's very powerful when you witness it. And the fact is that those people that were the kids back then watching us are the parents of kids that were their age when they were watching us, and there's no baseball. So you have a generation that longs for their childhood to be available for their children. And it's really been, I think, a huge dynamic in the resurgence and interest at the grassroots all the way now through the higher levels to actually then see if maybe, they can put together that group that could bring a franchise here. But it starts at 6-year-olds with T-ball.
You have a couple of favorite memories in this building?
Well, certainly this building and this memory, you've got to look at the All-Star game of '82 and having the privilege of standing on the mound to start the game with Gary Carter in front of me, with Tim Raines and Andre Dawson in the outfield. That was very special. Of course, Al Oliver was on the team, but to have 4 of us on the field at one time was pretty special.
Do you have any of the teammates from when you played here in Montreal that you keep track of now, or that you're in touch with now?
Well, again, being in the position that I am with the Players Association for the last 15 years on a periodic basis, guys would call in for a question or two, run into them in the travels and things like that. So I was able to stay in touch with, pretty much everyone, and It's at some level, and so it's one of those deals where I don't, you go your own way and you live your lives post baseball, but whenever you get back together, it's actually like time hasn't passed, and you start talking about stuff that so it's special. But I've been able to talk to Bill Gullickson and Charlie Lee, God rest his soul, and I just stayed in touch with Gary again. So I could go through all of them, but I mean I have a chance to run into him. Chris Spire, I saw for years that he was coaching, so you get a chance to stay in touch.
What are you looking forward to today? Reds versus Jays, final game here.
Well, again, I know that it's exciting. Certainly, it's exciting for the fans to be to have as large a crowd here to show this support for the game of baseball. There's also the issue that this is the last 9 innings before they can do it for real. Mm-hmm. And I think the players, as grand a stage as this is, it's the last spring training game, and I think they want to make sure that they end their spring training on a positive note, so that the intensity of opening day is not that big a jump. So I look for it to be a pretty intense game.
TSN 690, Reds versus Jays pregame show. Matthew Ross with Steve Rogers, Expos great. Just looking at some of the pregame festivities here, the lights have come down. You see the cell phone, it's lighting up in the audience, and they have some graphics, some designs on the field, which is not normal for baseball. We see it a lot in hockey, but it's an indoor facility, so I guess they're able to do that, and it's getting the crowd quite excited. Steve, there's going to be some youngsters on the field. We talked about this a few minutes ago with Walt Jocketty from the Reds. What is it like to pitch in front of 40 or 50,000 fans, or even almost 60 in the case of the 82 All-Star game for you, compared to a spring training game or 18,000 fans in the stands? Is there a nerve aspect to it? Is it something that you need to experience before doing?
I guess the politically correct answer would be to say, Matthew, boy, you're right on the nose. I think the reality
it's different for everyone.
But I think the reality is that this is a spring training game. Mm-hmm. And so like I said, the venue, the circumstances are all heightened because of the crowd and all the hype around it. But where you feel excitement, where you feel that rush, is because there's something on the line. Now, if a young man is actually on the bubble and they've got 27 in camp right now, and there's 2 slots, and this may be the most critical game of someone's life. But so I would never minimize that part of it. As far as the guys that are on the team and it's set, well, again, they want to be crisp. They want to get their 1 or 2 at bats, and then the kids will come in and play and be ready for opening day come Monday. So that kind of excitement comes from within, not necessarily from the venue you're in. So
just wrapping up with Steve Rogers with the MLBPA now, former Expos great. Last question for you. You came into Montreal. Was there one place you had to go to, something you had to eat, something you had to see, anything city-wise that really you had to do when you were here?
Well, I would love, because it was one of the real treats early in my career. I would love to go every time I came in town. I would love to go to the Beaver Club and eat dinner, but that's usually not available in the sense that you have different things. May try and sneak over there tonight, but in lieu of that, a Schwartz smoked meat sandwich is probably in my future. All right.
Fair enough. Maybe you can put that in your report for the PA on the weekend.
I'm thinking
write that one off.
That'll be paragraph 2.
Steve Rogers, thank you so much for taking some time. Really appreciate it.
Matthew, it was great talking with you.